The case of missing 11-year-old Audrii Cunnigham is one we will remember forever and one that garnered national attention. While any missing person case is horrific, this one in particular left the community with many questions. How did this happen? Why was this criminal living in the community? How do we prevent future missing child cases from occurring? And more. Today on The Balanced Voice, we welcome Tim Miller, founder and director of Texas EquuSearch, who worked very closely with law enforcement agencies in Livingston, Texas, on the multi-agency search to help find Audrii. Join us as we discuss Tim's personal story of why he started Texas EquuSearch and how they help families across the country free of charge with missing persons cases. Tim walks us through all that took place in Audrii's search, including explaining the sonar technology that was used to help find her body. We thank Tim for his time as he courageously takes us back to the beginning of Texas EquuSearch after experiencing the most unimaginable tragedy himself when his very own 16-year-old daughter, Laura, went missing in 1984. This conversation doesn't stop with Tim. This week, we will be airing a special bonus segment on Friday with Houston's very own Griselda Castillo of Grizzly's Hood News to discuss her work with the victim's family throughout the Audrii Cunningham case. We hope you will join us on Friday at 10 a.m. for this extended conversation. This is The Balanced Voice.
We're so honored to have Tim Miller, Texas EquuSearch, here with us. I mean, I think one of the most famous and well-known people in this space for truly tragic reasons. But we've talked to a lot of parents today who have turned their tragedies into unbelievable purpose. And you've been responsible on locating and working on some of the biggest missing children's cases. And Audrii Cunningham was one you were just working on directly.
The sheriff actually called me the day after Audrii disappeared and says, "Is there any way you can help us? We need a lot of people and stuff." And we put together a big team. There was 80 plus of us that went out that first day, and I had my boat and sonar, and I said I really want to do the river. And at that time, we didn't have any real indication that he was there in the river, but I was the only boat in the river that first day too. And then more things developed, and I won't get into a whole lot of investigation, but it was pretty obvious that he was in that area. Mm-hmm. And so I started, and then we found some evidence right along the bank. And I'm not going to say what that is now. I already shot myself in my foot on that one once. And
are you not allowed to say what the evidence is?
No, not yet. It wasn't released, and I have these terrible back problems with it. That I just wish it wouldn't have. But anyhow, what we found right there in the water, 100% evidence. So I actually chose to start doing sonar in that area and stuff. And I picked something up Saturday on my sonar equipment, on my sonar unit and stuff, and it was interesting. It was the worst sonar conditions because the current, the water was high, the current was raging between the railroad trestle and then the all the columns for 59 South were so close together, and it was just swirling around there, and there was just a huge eddy there. So when I got that picture, I went back to the same exact spot, and I couldn't pick it up again, and I couldn't pick it up again. I'm going to guarantee I made far more than 80 passes. I will try to get every angle I could get. And then Sunday, I got a pretty good picture. Yeah. I said, I think that's her. And I showed it to the Texas Rangers and the divers, and they said, yeah, we have to dive that area. So then we went through these images again, and I sonared on Monday, and they decided to go ahead and dive it. But the water was high, and where the current was, they could not get down to it. Oh. And it's like, I know it's her. I just know it's her. And then they decided to close the dam and lower the water, and they went right to her. So if if the articles would not been found on that shoreline, I don't know that I would have sonared that area. So it just kind of made sense. And then being weighted down, which they have released that.
They did.
I think that helped us
Because she didn't move.
because she did not move because that current was strong. And say we're searching all day, and at night when we shut down, and then by the time you get back out the next morning, you're 12 hours. Well, 4-mile-an-hour current in 12 hours she'd be 50 miles away almost.
Yeah.
So it was just God putting us in the right place at the right time. And I wondered, why can't I pick this image up every time?
What I feel led to say right now, Tim, is number one, I don't know if you'll follow Tim's story, and we've known about things in the public where you've been back surgeries. So all kinds of, we were worried at one time if you were going to survive at one point.
Yeah.
And so when the community asks what you can do, or when we have, I get frustrated when the community's not doing anything to help. You're a man that's had multiple surgeries, multiple health issues, and you're out there in high water with waves and looking for this child. So I just have to say that I really honor you for going out there and doing what most normal able-bodied won't take the time to do. And I'm trying not to get too emotional.
Thank you. And I would have never started EquuSearch. It chose me because when Laura disappeared, we got zero help. None. Police said she was a runaway. We begged and pleaded. And then 17 months later, of course, her body being found and now part of the killing fields. And I remember walking up to Laura's cross that I built there. And I walked up to that little cross and I said, Laura, please don't hate your daddy, but I can't come out here anymore. I have to say goodbye. I have to put my life back together. And you can believe this or not, I'd be walking away and over the shoulder, I'd hear this little voice, Dad, don't quit. Please don't quit. And I'd say, damn you, Laura. Just damn you. And really didn't know what she was talking about. I think I do now. I think I do now. And when Audrei's body was found, I was kind of by myself.
You were there?
No, I wasn't there. I couldn't be there that day because I was in the emergency room night before. Kind of by myself, wiping the tears out of my eyes and said, Laura, thank you. Just Laura, thank you. And again, if Laura was alive, you think I'd be doing this? Hell no.
Right.
Hell no. So, again, and we're humans too. I mean, this one hit me hard, both emotionally and physically, and I knew Monday when I was in that boat sonar, and God, I hurt so bad, and I just kept going and going and going. And then when I got home, it was like, oh, God, I need to go to the emergency room. I couldn't get in my vehicle, so I had to call the ambulance, and then shot me up with fentanyl and muscle relaxers and everything and stuff, and so big back surgery Monday. Hopefully this thing's going to get better. I just turned 77 years old. Somebody said, when you're going to quit? Well, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I have no intention.
Take you back to when you were missing.
It did. And it always does. But you know what? It wasn't in that sad way this time. And again, it was, Lord, thank you. Thank you. So, I made that promise years ago that to Laura and God, I'd never leave a family alone. And I can lie to a lot of people, but God can't lie to them. So, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And, I'm just blessed with the equipment that we got.
You need more equipment, Tim.
We do need more equipment. We need a new command center. There's a lot of things that we need. And then and man, I'm not an expert by no way, and I will never pat myself on my back, but over the years of really doing a lot of sonar and learning and stuff, God just kind of blessed me. And I was so frustrated because I couldn't pick her up because when you got a body there, every time you go by, it doesn't move. You get the image and I get it different. And so, but I knew this one was. I just knew it. I'll show it to you in a minute. And
Yeah.
it won't make any sense to you. We don't put it out there public, but nobody will see it. But I do enough of this. I knew it was her.
And how does
That's
this
what I
look?
wanna
Like when
ask about.
when you get this call, you got this one from the sheriff. Sometimes you get the calls from families. How do you mobilize? Like, how do you get your equipment in? What all happens? Is that what you want to
Yeah, I want to know how you know where to go and how the process works for you.
Well, when a family calls us, we let the family know they need to contact law enforcement, and we have to have approval from law enforcement. Many times law enforcement calls and they request our help, and we've done stuff we've been in 42 states and 11 different countries.
Right.
And we've done a good job. 370 plus remains we have found.
Right.
Many would have never been found. Many found alive that would have been dead. And I think we're right at about 2,500 cases over the years.
Amazing.
And you know what? When we get that call, a lot of times we'll get somebody up there. We'll recon. We'll see what we need, and then call that in. We called it EquuSearch for equestrian. We just started as hillbillies on damn horses and stuff, and then we've just grown from there.
Hashtag hillbillies on damn horses.
That's Santa Fe, Texas talk. And then we've really moved way past that and use a lot of ATVs and the foot searchers and of course a boat and a sonar, and we got our own drones. We do a lot of stuff with ground penetration units where I've dug up several that were murdered and buried. And so, we got more resources than most law enforcement agencies, and we've never charged a dime for anything. And so we know on these cases, and this was a perfect case here where it shows that, all the detectives are out there trying to get information. They're following leads and everything, and they don't have the manpower to be out there. And so we're called many times, so we're kind of like the legs on the ground. And I think what the sheriff did up here, and then got the Texas Rangers involved immediately, got the FBI involved in the different organizations, and it's a huge team effort. And we were just a small part of a big team, and we were just at the right place at the right time. Just one time that I got this image, which I could never repeat again. So, we do a good job, but we're not the experts, because if you go to our website, there's still way too many of them on our website that are still missing. And we always promise them we'll do the best job that we can possibly do, but we'll leave the results up to God. And when I started this search, I had a little talk with God. And I said, you know what, you've really been good to us in the past and helped us. Can I ask you just one more time? So
He probably gets a few of those messages from you a year, right?
Tim, I wanted to ask you, when you mentioned when you realized that Audrii was located, it wasn't it was more the thanking of your daughter for helping you. I want to ask you when you say that, there's sort of an evolution of feelings, obviously, and I think your faith has helped you with that. But when you see now the suspects, you see this man that's now being charged with capital murder. What do you feel for them?
Well, a lot of people dropped the ball on this one. Number one, I tried not to watch that as much as somebody would think I would. Somebody asked me if I talked to the family or anything while I was doing the search, and I said, no, I didn't want to. I don't want to. I want to focus on what I'm doing. Number one, I'm so damn codependent. I want to fix all their pain and everything if I see them. You know what this guy reminds me of? And you know what? I never thought about that question. In Laura's case, we know who did this. We know, and he was right there at the same category as our suspect in Audrii's case. So when and again, that's the first time. So when I look at that, I think it brings out more anger inside of me and the feelings of Clyde Hedrick and what he's done to so many girls and everything. We dropped the ball.
As a
What do you
community.
mean we dropped the ball?
Yeah.
You know why he was even walking the streets at this time. We dropped the ball in Laura's case too. We dropped the ball.
Let's talk about that more, because I think that's an important point.
Yeah, there was I have been fighting for 38 years. And we got all the evidence I feel as though we need. A guy came to me 2 years ago that was with Clyde Hedrick, helped Clyde Hedrick put every one of the bodies out there. He was there when Laura died, after Clyde had sex with Laura. This is a guy that mixed up cocaine in a syringe, and Clyde Hedrick put it in Laura's arm and looked at this guy and said, when this guy said, don't do it, Clyde says, this is her best orgasm and worst nightmare, shot her up till she was dead. Gave every damn detail, which was painful to hear. And then I got him to go talk to the investigators, to the DA and stuff, and it was like DA saying, well, you know what, these people have drug problems and these jailhouse snitches, we can't use them. I said, where the hell do you think these people met? At Bible study? And so the frustrations I'm going through with a guy that I know
Was there.
a witness that was there, and the only way to talk is if he got immunity his own self. And so, the system is broken all the way around. This guy should have never been out on the street neither.
Yeah.
So what can we change there? I get pretty angry over that stuff because I've been fighting it 38 years. 38.
Wow.
So hopefully the day will come when, and I hate that word closure, because there never is.
Is there closure?
But and you know what? I'm the fortunate one. Many of the family members of the girls out there in Colorado Drive have already passed away and stuff, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
So, I sure hope that Audrii's family doesn't have to fight that much. I believe we got everything that we need on this. Thank God.
Good.
Thank God. And I'm on the fence on the death penalty or life in prison. And for this cat, I want life in prison for him. Be in general population. Don't be in your cell 23 hours a day by your own self where nobody can get to you.
We know what
Put him out there with the rest of the people. So.
Yeah.
But it takes, and again, I don't like being human at times, but it takes a good while to kind of decompress and go through that little grieving process and stuff on these cases, and more so when it's a child. Mm-hmm. I said in the beginning, wherever Audrii is, that's not a place that she chose to be, so we don't have a choice. We have to try to look for her. And I knew in the beginning that there wasn't going to be a happy ending. I was really afraid there was going to be no ending whatsoever. So, as bad as it sounds, finding her was the very best
Yeah, that you could hope for.
that we could hope for, considering the circumstances. It could not have ended any better considering the circumstances. I believe in that cold water. And if she was sexually assaulted and stuff, I got a feeling that it's still possible to even get more evidence to move forward on.
Okay.
And so, all I can say is we had a hell of a good team up there.
It's amazing. Tim, was he already in custody whenever y'all started the search?
He was not in custody when we started. He went in custody the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, the next day. And I mean, it was pretty obvious about this cat. We can beat the parents up and stuff if we want to with the choices they made. You know it. We don't have to do that.
No.
I would hope nothing would ever be mentioned about that again, because nobody can put them in more pain than
What they're in
they're
now.
going through now, and the choices that they should have, could have made and stuff. So let's let them heal.
Yeah. I have a
And
question.
I just want to say, I was very upset, obviously, at this case, and immediately said, why, as a mom, why did Joshua Cunningham let this man on their property? And I feel bad for saying that, but Audrii had no options when she was with this man. She had nothing she could do, and how did society give her to him? And that makes me so angry. And so I feel bad because I said I just am so frustrated that he had access, and why was he on the property, and he had 12 prior and enticement of a child, and just the anger. And you're right, the parents are grieving more. The parents are grieving in an unimaginable way, but
I try to flip to the other
makes me
side and
so
just
angry.
say to viewers and hopefully millions will see this, that I just know this. Don't let your children have sleepovers. Don't give your children access to your children with people that you don't really know, and even family members we know are sexual exploiters. And so, Tim, when you look at all the cases you've done with these young girls or even boys, is it in your experience? Is it people that have close or closest
Well, you know,
that are close to the family?
Look at little Malia Davis case.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we got called and went up there and got there 2 hours too late after the mower ran over. You know, we was there like 7 hours picking up body parts of her and stuff. And
Wait, who, you were doing that?
yes, I actually flew the detectives up there, and then that's when Arkansas said, well, it's in our jurisdiction, and they wanted to keep it there, and we wanted to bring her home, and somehow or another, we won that battle, and put her little pieces in a body bag and in a chest we bought, and then we bought a little baby's blanket and covered that ice chest to go ahead and bring her home in, because the last time she was seen was in a black bag going down the stairs. We said, we're not taking her back like that. So, Kaylee Anthony case in Florida and stuff. I mean,
Right.
the list goes on and on and on. And what's different about these cases, many adults are out there and they make some bad choices and put themselves in a position that they probably shouldn't have. That still doesn't give somebody a license to kill them.
Right.
These children cases, they didn't have a choice. They did not have a choice. If they say no, they still don't have that choice. And so, I don't know, the world's a different place today. Such a different place.
Ask you, we're going to have to wrap up our time with you soon, but you talk a lot about prayer and faith, but you see the worst, I think, the worst of the worst. How do you reconcile your faith with what you see?
What a question. I think I've always had faith. The way that I grew up, my childhood wasn't pretty. Trust me, that's a whole nother story. I think, and I'm pretty open about my life. And there, at one time, I can tell you, I had a pretty serious drinking problem. It was wild, EquuSearch and everything, and all the stuff we seen and stuff was a good excuse to drink. My brother committed suicide over alcohol. My dad committed suicide over alcohol. And I was this close. And I remember that night saying, God, if you're real, please take this desire away from me. And he did. I've not had a desire for a teaspoon of alcohol in many, many years. Without faith, in my world, without faith, there's nothing.
There's no hope.
There's no hope. There's no nothing. And I think when I look back at my life since Laura, and that happened to Laura, it's almost like God had different plans for Tim Miller than to be a successful building contractor. And I didn't know what that plan was in the beginning, but I think I know now.
Yeah.
I think I know now. So, God bless little Laura. I'm still going to fight to get justice. And, God bless Laura. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. God, make a plan for me.
Boy. Well, we love you, Tim Miller.
You're a very special person.
So special.
So many people in the world follow Tim Miller and call him in the worst situations on earth, and he shows up with heart and determination, wisdom and strength, and really a blessed hand. And we thank you for what you do. And in any way our community can support you, what would that be?
A lot of prayers. Keep the prayers coming. Financially, of course, this takes a big toll on us, and again, families have tried to hire us in the past. We say, hold on, we've already paid the ultimate cost. You got a loved one.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Anybody feels like making some donations? We never ask or beg for money, and we try to stay pretty humble and do stuff, but at times we need some help, and we're there, whatever your heart says.
Well, I will be a little bit more distinct about it. You need more equipment, normal boats, sonars, and volunteers, financial support, and so and what you don't want to do is be that person that starts learning and supporting his work after you need him. So hopefully we're proactive as a community, and we'll continue to support you, Tim.
Texas EquuSearch, P.O. Box 395. Dickinson, Texas.
And we'll link it.
77539.
We will
link it.
Yes.
Thank you, Miller. You're an angel. Thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody else, we'll catch you next time on the Balanced Voice podcast. Here, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Balanced Conversation. You can find real solutions and tangible resources in our show notes at thebalancedvoicepodcast.com. To join the conversation, follow us on Instagram at The Balanced Voice Podcast and on Twitter at @BalancedVoice_. Stay up to date on Runya's work by following her at The Runya Report, and we can't wait to see you next week for another Balanced Conversation.